Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea are emerging stronger as partners, battling cross-border crimes and enhancing security between both countries. Both of them are under the auspices of defense ministers and have signed a trilingual cooperation agreement to tackle the different crimes and insecurity on the rise of their common borders. Peter Nsosier brings to you how that meeting went down today in Malabo. Plus, back candidates have begun the written part of their examinations today with a practical session that kicked off yesterday. About 40,000 students sat for this defining moment in their lives, which went hitch-free. Those are top stories. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining the 6 p.m. newscast on Spectrum Television. As announced in the headlines, the second accord between Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea over border and trade restrictions has been signed today in Malabo. Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea are both members of CEMAC with long-standing cultural bilateral relationships. However, ties between both countries have witnessed ups and downs, with Cameroon playing the gentleman role oftentimes. The cross-border security accord was sealed by defense authorities from both countries under the instructions of the head of states of both nations. Peter Nsosier with details.
Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea have finally sealed a cross-border security agreement that will diffuse existing tensions between the neighboring countries. The Cameroonian delegation, comprising the Ministers of Defense and External Relations as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, met Monday with their Equatorial Guinean counterparts to validate resolutions reached in Yaoundé 2 weeks ago. The document has come under review yesterday as General Lamberto Ngema of Equatorial Guinea and General René Claude Meka of Cameroon praised the quality of the deliberations. Though the content of the accord is yet to be disclosed, STV gathered that both countries will strengthen surveillance on their land and maritime borders. In fact, the focus of the Malabo meeting is to put in place a mechanism for coordination and joint action in the areas of defense and cross-border security. As agreed in Yaoundé, both parties will enhance training, intelligence and combat cross-border crime and other threats. The border control agreement had earlier been sealed in Yaoundé between defense ministers Joseph Beti Asomo of Cameroon and Alejandro Bokale Ngoko of Equatorial Guinea.
The Certificat d'études primaires examination, which is equivalent of the first school leaving certificate of the Anglophone subsystem of education, started this morning, July 21, 2020, all over the national territory. Here in Douala, our reporter Crystal Asek-Swele was at the government bilingual primary school Aqua and brought back this report.
At the government school Aqua in the Douala 1 municipality this Tuesday, July 21, 2020, first day of the Certificat d'études primaires examination, the equivalent of the first school leaving certificate for the Anglophone subsystem of education. In line with the COVID-19 health crisis context, the respect of barrier measures prescribed by the government is mandatory to all candidates before they are granted access into the examination rooms, a task not always easy to execute. After this stage, the candidates are ushered into their examination classrooms where their examination documents are controlled, and thereafter, the supervisor then reads out the examination instructions to them. Here, 399 candidates registered with 338 present this day, with 1 candidate absent. All the barrier measures were respected. We distributed face masks to both the pupils and teachers. We will begin with French this morning and finish with mathematics, and then orals tomorrow. The oral part of this examination will take place tomorrow, July 22, 2020. Overall, 413 candidates in over 2,500 examination centers registered for the 2020 session of this examination.
The back examination has begun all over the national territory with over 40,000 students taking the exams. Let's listen to the disciplinary master of Government Bilingual High School, New Bell, who tells us how the written session went on today.
The baccalaureate exams have started this morning. The candidates are writing general knowledge, what we call culture générale or literature this morning, and some other candidates are writing philosophy. We are going to finish today with sports and physical education, the written part, and this is going to be done by external candidates only. For the baccalaureate sub-center of GBHS New Bell, we are expecting 720 candidates. 720 candidates who are basically science candidates of Series C and Series D, and a few candidates of the Series littéraire who are external candidates, because our arts candidates are writing in another accommodation center in Collège Évangélique New Bell. So that is how our center is organized. Preventive measures against the COVID-19. Right at the entrance of the center, we have washing points where all the candidates wash their hands, and then their temperatures are taken before they move to their various writing halls, where measures have also been taken for the candidates to sit in a way that they are not close to each other. Social distancing is also respected in the various writing halls.
Professor Jacques Famendongo has condemned Professor Maurice Kamto for urging Cameroonians to snub upcoming elections. In a lengthy defense, the CPDM Communications Secretary says Cameroon Renaissance Movement's leader is a political charlatan. Peter Nsosier with details.
Professor Jacques Famendongo has dismissed claims by the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement that organizing elections without electoral reforms and a definite peaceful solution to the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions puts Cameroon on an illegitimate path. The member of the CPDM Political Bureau and Communication Secretary of the party's Central Committee has lashed out at Maurice Kamto for faking people legitimacy without an electoral mandate, hence a political charlatan. On the motive raised by the Cameroon Renaissance Movement over the Electoral Code, Famendongo argues that the Electoral Code has never been hit by illegality and electoral reforms are not reached by a consensus but a representative democracy through the parliament. The CPDM bigwig has accused Maurice Kamto of contradictions and incoherence and wonders why he would ask the public to stand against elections while urging his supporters to register in the electoral list. He maintains that the army, administrative and judicial authorities will remain loyal to the institutions of the state, insisting that the 2018 presidential elections contested by the Cameroon Renaissance Movement has already been validated by Cameroon's national and international partners. Maurice Kamto has been called to accept the verdict of the election, come back to reason and republican legality, and play a responsible role in the country's political terrain.
The lasting conflict that existed between market managers and traders of the Cité de Palmier market in the Douala 5 municipality is over, as the traders now have a new president. His installation took place yesterday, July 20, 2020, at the Cité de Palmier market. Our reporter Crystal Asexwele was there and has the details.
Following the new reforms introduced by the mayor from his decree number 14, that gives all administrative powers to the market managers, as well as the creation of a management committee headed by the market manager, the position of the market presidency was also created. This position occupied by the traders who revert to the market managers. It's in this light that on Monday, July 20, 2020, the new president of the Cité de Palmier market of the Douala 5 municipality was installed into his new functions by the newly appointed market manager of this market, following instructions from Madame Dina Zogo, fourth assistant to the mayor of the city of Douala. These nominations will clarify and solve the power conflicts that existed between the market managers and the traders in this market. The mayor's decree made that the managers have the place of those responsible in the market, while the traders have theirs. There is no bias. Traders manage their business, under the supervision of the market manager, who represents the mayor of the city, which was not the case before. The new president of traders is quite pleased with this nomination by the mayor and promises to collaborate and work in harmony with the market manager. This market is quite different from other markets. The atmosphere now is quite conducive and lively for business, which was not the case before. The nominations of the market managers and the new committee put in place by the mayor, things will be better. We will work together and respect all instructions of the hierarchy and apply them. Ensuring the well-being and security of the traders in the markets, the cleanliness of their surroundings, and making sure order reigns in the markets within the authority are some of the challenges that await the newly installed bureau of the Cité de Palmier market.
The coming of the rainy season has sprouted an abundance of maize in our local markets. The vegetable highly consumed in different parts of Cameroon in different dishes is now in its fullest in our local markets, as Oni Ladone tells us in the following report.
It won't be an exaggeration to classify this cereal grain as one of the most consumed vegetable in Cameroon. Maize, also known as corn, is highly regarded by Cameroonians for its unique taste and the different delicacies made out of it. Now it's maize season. We have maize in the market in different kinds. 4 for 200, 6 for 200, it depends. In Cameroon, corn can be eaten roasted or grounded into corn fufu, koki corn, pap, as porridge, corn chaff, or better still made into a local drink, sha. It's to make corn fufu. The corn is grounded and we eat it with vegetable. We put small oil, salt, pepper, and it's okay. It's for the household, and the price of the maize is affordable. 100 francs, 200 francs a case. Rich in several vitamins like vitamin C, magnesium, fiber, phosphorus, this starchy grain comes in different colors. However, there exist just 2 types in the market.
C'est 2 qualités, il y a le maïs blanc, il y a le maïs rouge. Et ça sort du
We have 2 types of maize in the market. We have the white and the red maize. It's from Mongo, sometimes in the northwest region. And when it comes to Garde New Bell. They bring it every morning and we sell it. You can see we have places for 4 for 200, 3 for 200, 5 for 100, 4 for 100.
200, 5 200, 3 200.
The availability of corn has eliminated the problem of quantity as customers now seek for quality.
Et la difficulté qu'on rencontre beaucoup maintenant, c'est que le maïs, parfois, ça sort de champ. Quand c'est déjà sec, quand c'est déjà légèrement sec, les braiseuses ne prennent pas vite.
The difficulties we face here is sometimes the maize is harvested slightly dry. So buyers don't buy it quick. And again, buyers are really complicated. They complain the corn lacks grain, and sometimes they complain it's bad inside.
L'épi n'est pas plein. Ce n'est pas plein, bon. Ou parfois, on dit que c'est touché à l'intérieur. Et on laisse. Donc c'est la difficulté qu'on trouve.
The quality of corn, they say, can be detected by buyers through, in order to know if it's sweet, they can taste the corn. However, corn is regarded as a typical example of a versatile crop, as everything on a corn plant is usable. From the kernels, which are grown into food, to the stalks used as animal food. No part of a corn is wasted.
Businessmen and women plying their trade in second-grade goods are experiencing a diminishing turnout in business due to the COVID-19 pandemic, though many Cameroonians consume second-grade items due to low income. Traders experience lack due to the closing of borders. John Paul Sama.
An economic onslaught is staring at the face of these traders dealing with second-hand goods in the city of Douala. The usual booming that characterized a business environment like this one seems to be dead. The dreaded coronavirus, the traders say, is having a huge ravaging effect on their businesses.
Difficulties we are facing now I can say, is too much. Because at first, which we usually have the goods coming in, we are not having many difficulties in selling to the producer. But now, well, first of all, the first thing we are facing is price differentiation. It has reduced. As at first it was at least having a good amount, but yes, selling price now, but it has reduced.
The traders have braced for fresh challenges in purchasing new goods.
Second thing we are facing, our goods are no more coming in. And again, the way to have the means to bring the goods is not there. So what we do now is just we go around, look for things that they have used and they are spoiled, then we take them back, fix them in our own ways. That's how to make our own business, to maintain our own business. If not, we would collapse.
Sales have dropped as customers stop coming.
There are no more customers. We try to at least do the online business or to sensitize and give them that there are still products. But since there are no more customers, we have reduced the way we used to. Their income rate has reduced. And the way we used to have that's population around our cities it has reduced.
Some highly demand goods by customers, they say, cannot be imported because borders are still closed.
Coming in now, you have the fridges, you have cars, you have flask, you have many things that are not more coming in. You have gas plates, you have even with the pillows, mattresses, they are no more coming in, and those are the most things that people need in our community.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in Cameroon, business persons review, they keep counting their losses instead of sales each day.
And that was done by Catherine Kone. Diabetic and non-diabetic persons have a healthy eating assignment to accomplish daily, while excessive consumption of sugar and carbohydrates can lead to type 2 diabetes. Moderate or no consumption of it can lead to death in cases of diabetic patients. Here is how diabetic patients ought to eat healthy by John Paul Sama.
The symptoms of diabetes are vast and vary with some individuals, as each type has unique symptoms.
De sensations au niveau des membres, au niveau des mains, au niveau des pieds.
They might lose feelings at the level of their hands, feet, and there are also few diabetes patients who lose their capacity to see clearly and are obliged to wear eyeglasses. There are also cases of hypertension.
Et aussi des cas où le sang devient trop lourd.
Nutritionists say diabetes patients should indulge in good nutritional practices that will reduce the risk of further complications they could encounter along the line in a bid to regulate their sugar level.
Et le premier élément, c'est le contrôle.
They should control the level of sugar in their blood. It is extremely important to have a balanced diet which balances the level of sugar and mucus in the blood. Basically, most rice is good for them. We also have rich protein food like fish, meat, beans, and also fruits with a low level of sugar and glucose. It would be nice as well as green vegetables, which should also dominate the feeding habit of diabetes patients.
sont extrêmement importants et devraient dominer l'alimentation des diabétiques.
Diabetes is a metabolic disease that causes high blood sugar and can be hereditary. The complications of this disease, health experts say, can effectively be managed with medication and lifestyle change.
On our international page, congressional Democrats condemned the Trump administration on Monday, calling for an immediate investigation in the use of federal law enforcement officers to arrest peaceful protesters in the northwestern city of Portland, Oregon last week. But President Donald Trump defended this practice, saying the U.S. cities have lost their control of protest over the death of George Floyd, who died in police custody at the end of May 2020. Details with the VOA.
In Portland over the weekend, escalating tensions. Protesters massed around police buildings, some committing vandalism and briefly setting a police building on fire, before everyone fled the area amid warnings from law enforcement. That civil unrest coming as congressional Democrats demand answers on reports peaceful protesters in Portland are being arrested by unidentified federal authorities. President Trump defended that federal intervention Monday.
We have more federal law enforcement, that I can tell you. In Portland, they've done a fantastic job.
But local authorities say they don't need federal help.
Your presence here isn't wanted, it's not needed.
Federal assistance is making mostly peaceful protests worse, according to the state's governor.
It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
A group of self-described mothers formed a human wall Sunday to protect protesters from federal tactical units. And Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib vowed on Twitter she would protect her own city of Detroit after Trump said federal authorities may be needed to address rising violence in other U.S. cities.
Put down your need for violence.
Local religious leaders are planning a peace march to try to calm tensions, even as the state of Oregon sues multiple federal agencies for what it says was the illegal detention of U.S. citizens. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.
Thanks for watching the English Newscast. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for more information on Spectrum Television. Good night.